Hey guys, Spectral Blaze here. Just wanted to give you guys a heads up. I am back finally. I've had a ton of PC issues, so I haven't been able to record any videos. Um, but I'm back in, and I've got Guild Wars 2, and I've had it since pre-launch, so I've been really busy kind of just playing the content that I've already played on the betas and getting to the new stuff. I'm 54 now on my server. Of course, I play a Mesmer. That's been my class of choice since the betas, so um, I just wanted to make a guide real quick and show you guys what I use for my build. Yeah, so getting right into it. Um, as far as armor goes, I pretty much leave it all stock for structured PvP. I stick with the runes of the Mesmer, mostly because I've tried trying to stack different runes, and you're not really going to get that much better power, precision, and days duration. And to be honest, it kind of just hits home. I mean, it's a pretty good balance, and any bonuses you get from other runes, while they may help, they're not dramatic in my opinion. So I leave that pretty much all basic. I run a great sword, single sword focus to show you guys what the skills are. I'm not going to go into too much about the weapon skills. Obviously, you can check that out later. But yeah, so with the single sword, I know I get a lot of questions. A lot of people ask me why I use the focus, and the main reason is the temporal curtain. Um, Speed bonuses to mages are huge in this game because you can't outrun a melee, so the only way to chase somebody down is to have a speed buff. And to have it in your offhand with a decent summon skill is a pretty nice balance, not to mention the cripple ability as well as the double trigger that you have on it. Temporal Curtain has a double trigger that you can actually trigger after the skill has already been played, and it'll take any enemies near the curtain that you throw down and actually throw them to the ground. So if you're trying to get away, you're going to spread your gap even further. If you're trying to close a gap, you're going to actually pull people back to you, depending on how well you place it. Healing, I stick with the basic heal, mostly because of the heal per illusion bonus. My build tends to typically have at least 2 clones out at all times, most of the time running on 3, and shattering as often as you can. So I just sort of time my heal when I need it. Utility skills, I take mirror images, teleport, and feedback. I'm sorry, blink and feedback. Mirror images is amazing. The ability to just pop 2 clones out when, maybe they blow up your clones with an AoE or something, definitely changes the game, as well as the ability to break a stun. That is just huge. Teleport or blink, obviously, I mean, and that's just a gimme. It breaks stun, and the ability to just chase people down when they turn to run, because with the amount of DPS you're able to dump with this character, you will get like the lighter armors like the thieves and the other mages to try to turn tail sometimes, and it's nice to be able to chase them down or get out of a situation if you need to. Feedback, I know there's third utility skill on a Mesmer is kind of tough, but I choose feedback just because the structured PvP that I've played so far hasn't dealt with a ton of people there's always at least one person on the other team who either doesn't move when they're attacking, or like turrets, or someone who's maybe not really paying attention to what's going on or not familiar with the Mesmer. So the ability to basically negate somebody's damage per 6 seconds is huge. You pretty much just shut them down while you kill their friend. Ultimates, I take Time Warp. Time Warp by far is one of the most amazing skills I think the Mesmer gets, besides the clones. You get 10 seconds of quickness, which is extremely amazing with the single hand sword. You can dump a lot of DPS very, very fast, as well as stack a bunch of conditions. I don't expect it to probably be this way for forever. If there was any skill that I've seen in Guild Wars 2 that's maybe a little bit overpowered, it's definitely Time Warp, because of the massive range of AoE. Like, it drops a huge circle of quickness for your team. And of course, because most people get excited in the fray, they don't actually notice that you throw it down, and it's over before they really realize what's going on. Traits, I stack 30 in Domination, 20 in Dueling, and 20 in Illusions. I know that there's some amazing skills in the Chaos and Inspiration tree, but to me, it's not really worth building into them to get the those skills and sacrifice the upfront damage. The thing as a Mesmer is that you're constantly playing on confusion. The more clones you can produce, the more clones you can blow up, the more just absolute craziness you can have going on, the less likely you are to die. So when you're standing there against a burst DPS like a thief or a ranger or a warrior, the the chance of a plus 200 toughness affecting whether or not you live or die is not very high in my opinion. We wear light armor, so you can't really expect to stand toe to toe with a warrior and 200 toughness make the difference. So I sort of go with an upfront, all-out assault, pretty much. Skill-wise and domination, I take Rending Shatter, Mental Torment, and Great Sword Training. Rending Shatter is great because I crash my illusions a lot, and by crash I mean I use my shatter skills. Mostly Mind Rack because of the just flat damage. And the ability to throw a vulnerability on them for 8 seconds is pretty awesome. Especially if I'm targeting them with clones. Obviously I'm attacking them, so the ability to stack a vulnerability on there without having to use any other skills is pretty cool. Mental Torment, of course, because I'm using Mind Rack, I want to amplify the damage as much as I can, so that just makes sense. And then the Great Sword Training, because mostly because of the recharge or the reset timer. The more skills you can do with the Great Sword, the more damage you can dump. The more damage you can dump, the more people you kill. Pretty basic. In dueling, I take Blade Training and Deceptive Evasion. Blade Training being obviously the time reduced for the sword skills. Same sort of deal as the Great Sword. The more times you can get off Blurred Frenzy, the more time you're going to be invulnerable to damage, as well as dumping a ton of DPS. It's just absolutely, this Blurred Frenzy is just an amazing skill in close quarters. Deceptive Evasion is a must-have. If your build doesn't have Deceptive Evasion, I highly suggest you rethink it, because when you evade, which you do a lot in PvP, the ability to produce another clone without having to use a skill instead of reset timer is huge for this class. Even if it means you're shattering just an illusion out in the middle of nowhere, it doesn't matter. It just adds to the chaos and makes things most of the time fall in your favor. Under illusions, I take Compounding Power and Precise Rack. Precise Rack, obviously, I use Mind Rack quite a bit, so having an increase in the critical chance is huge for me. It's just damage I don't have to do with my weapons. So Compounding Power, I tend to have at least 2. Almost always I have 3 illusions up, but normally, like at a minimum, it's going to be 2. So an extra 6 or 9% damage just for playing my class the way I think the class is built, then I'll take that any day. So that pretty much covers that. Let me see. Oh, I do take a Berserker's Amulet. Again, mostly because I want to stack power, precision, and crit damage as much as possible with this build, because it's all about dealing the most damage you can in the fastest amount of time. As you can see, I have a 47% critical with the Greatsword, which means for the 4 little bumps of damage that you get per attack, basically half of those are going to crit, and my crits right now range from anywhere from 1,400 to 2,000 depending on the class that I'm hitting. And then with the Single Hand Sword, it goes up to almost even 50%, but 49, close enough. Again, for a mage, I think criticals are always harder to stack. It's not going to be the 70% that a ranger gets or anything like that, but I think our criticals tend to hit a little bit harder. So all in all, I'm definitely happy with this build. It works well in PvE. I'm 54. I've had 0 problems leveling. I'm able to take out veterans by myself. I've had very few content quests that have just been a pain. In World vs. World, again, amazing build. I can get in and get out using my speed abilities, my warps and everything, feedback bubbles. It just, you confuse the crap out of some people with this thing. I think that's what I'm drawn to most about it. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Try it out for yourself. I'm gonna be posting some videos of actual ranked PvP, or I'm sorry, structured PvP with this build, so you guys can see sort of what my patterns are, or how I approach situations. Probably try and get one up either today or tomorrow. I don't know. It's kind of late tonight, so we'll see. Anyways, like, favorite, comment, and keep tuned in, because I'm definitely gonna have some more videos coming out. And I will see you guys around. Take it easy.